everybody, I'm Despa. You're watching be83 and this is another episode of Meet the Artist, but today it's a very special episode of Meet the Artist because with me I've got Alison, who is the mother of Joshua Ribera, otherwise known as Depzman. And how are you today?
Okay, nervous. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I can imagine you are. Like I said, I'm about as nervous as you. So it's... What?
Okay.
You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I know you wanted to kind of, you wanted to come in and talk about Josh.
Yeah.
And give people kind of the opportunity to ask their questions and kind of, find out more about the person that was Josh, and not just about the kind of the artist that they all know as Deps, and kind of like, hear from you about what happened. And
yeah.
So, I mean, you have said that you'll answer, as many questions as possible. And
yeah.
So, yeah.
I'll try and answer what I can. If there's anything I don't want to answer, I will say I don't want to answer it, but at this moment I'll just go for it and just be honest and, just answer what people are wanting to know. Because that's the thing, a lot of people have said things and I haven't been able to comment really, and I just want to be able to answer the questions that people have asked me. So this is obviously the opportunity to do that.
So, I mean, for me, it's obviously, it's a very hard subject, and having, losing your son and having to go through the whole thing, which has been really quite public. How has that been for you, having to kind of almost grieve publicly and deal with, the outburst of all the kind of, from all the fans and stuff like that?
I don't think I've grieved yet. I don't think I've even begun to accept this whole situation, that it's actually happened. I just live each day, wake up in the morning, see what questions, emails are sent to me, and just deal with that and do the best I can each day. It's just like living in the twilight zone. I look at the last 18 months and I just think, how has that happened? What has happened? So it's been very, very difficult. And again, people see the public image of it, but the reality of it is very, very different. Living each day, like I've said, and people have seen this on Twitter, I didn't lose Depzman, I haven't lost Deps, I've lost Joshua. And I do respect the fact that people are grieving the loss of a musician and a person they see publicly, but that's not my loss. So, that's harder than people probably realise, because I do put on a public image that, I'm okay, and I'm not really. I just managed to do that quite well.
I mean, do you get like a lot of messages? I remember you saying to me before when I spoke to you that, you get a lot of messages almost daily.
All day. I probably still get about 200 a week, and it's people struggling without him, and people who have watched his music and really lived through his music, watched him grow up, watched his message and attached themselves to that for whatever reason, and so they've lost a big part of their life and someone that's guided them, and I find it very unusual, but I've also realised that it's genuine pain that they are feeling, and if I'm able to just reply to them, that's a couple of seconds of my time. If it makes them feel better, then I don't see why I shouldn't do that. So that is what I'm doing at the moment. That's what I mean. I haven't really dealt with my grief. I just get comfort from helping the people that need me, and if those messages tail off and it ends up with one a day, I'll keep doing that. And if all these people eventually in a year's time, 2 years time, whenever, are like, okay, we're all right now, then I've done something, and I can't do more than that. I can't. My life is on hold with grief, but people don't see that. They think I'm doing really well and I'm okay. I'm just a survivor, and that's what I'm doing each day, surviving and getting through.
I mean, what is it? I mean, what do you think it is about Josh that has affected so many people to where they're constantly kind of outpouring their grief to you and wanting to show that? I mean, he's an artist. He wasn't that many songs. He had quite a short career really, but it seems to have had a massive impact on people. And what do you think that is?
I think he was so honest, and he lived through YouTube. So people saw him from 10 years old, really 10, 11 years old, being very honest about everything. Every single thing possible, he was talking about it. And then people were interested by him because he had a certain look. He was respected, as in, you know, could hold his own. But he had the charisma, and that's something that not everyone has. He did have charisma. He had charisma straight away from when he was a little boy, and I think a lot of people were attracted to that by him. So his honesty, and people were watching him, enjoyed him, but then the message was very much, you know, I've done this, I'm living this, this is my situation, it's not all it's cracked up to be, I'm hurting people around me. And then the next track was very much, right, that's it now, none of this, I'm now going to be positive and do this. And people are like, oh, okay, you know, he could fight if he needed to fight, he could defend if he needed to defend. Yeah, he loved his family and he was charismatic and, you know, positive. So I think that is the point, that a lot of people took an interest in him.
Yeah.
And then the people that were following him, as in, you know, it could have gone one way or the other. If he was telling everyone to do a certain thing, it might have been that's what they all did. But because he was saying, right, you know, work hard, be positive, love your family, a lot of people, you know, were copying him basically.
Yeah.
And I think the people that had that need to follow someone, that's a strong need if you actually follow music and follow what people are telling you. And I think that just exploded really, so that when his music actually came out, the last year he was alive was an amazing year for him. His future was planned, and it was working for him. All the times he was working and working hard, more and more people started to watch him and thought, hang on, who is this person? He's honest, he's saying it how it is, which not many people do. They actually are really honest. And more people started to follow him. So when he died, it just left a devastation in so many people's lives. The people that knew him as Josh, the people that knew it at Depzman, and the people that are watching him now have started to watch him and listen to his lyrics. I get a lot of people saying, my mum listens to him now. You know, she's got his CD playing in the car, and I'm just like, wow, that's amazing. Yeah. But they seem to enjoy it because I'm not a grime fan. I was a Josh fan. Josh could say anything, Bar Black Sheep, and I'd be just mesmerised by it. But you know, to people to appreciate his honesty and what he's talking about is the truth, I think that was the key to his success. So to take that away in the way it happened and the way it's so public, that all those factors combined has made it as big as it has been.
I think I saw Jeremy tweet something recently. Yeah. He said, I think he was along the lines of Depzman had that kind of voice that everything he said just seemed real. It just sounded like, you know,
it sounded real.
You know.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, Josh didn't think, as his mum, the amount of times I've wanted the floor to swallow me up because of his honesty.
Yeah.
In police stations. In a police station, most people will be like, yes, officer, no, officer. I can't even say what Joshua used to say to the police officers, but it's what goes to everyone's mind but doesn't come out of their mouth. With Josh, it came out of his mouth. And that was in any environment, any situation. If someone upset him, he would tell them. If it was the Pope, he would have offered to knock them out. He just had this ability of being 100% honest, you know, which a lot of people appreciated. As his mum, it was quite difficult, but for musically, that was something that was unique and amazing. So I think what Jeremy said was spot on.
I think we're going to take it, because there's a lot of questions coming in. So we're going to take it to some questions for the fans. Again, like I said earlier, you can ask a question by either tweeting me at Despa Stay Fresh using the hashtag #MeetTheArtist, or you can ask a question below on the YouTube comment box as well, and I'll try and get to those also. So let's go all the way back here. So yeah, the first question is what were Deps's last words?
I don't know. There has been rumours. There has been many people coming to me with their own little versions, which has been very hard. But his actual last words on the evening to me were, I love you, Mum. So. And
I mean, after it happened and he was at the hospital, was it the case he was?
He was unconscious. Yeah, he was unconscious, and he never had. People have said to me, you know, when I say people, gossips and people that have wanted attention have come to me saying, "Oh, he said this, he said that," which, you know, that's all part of it. I've heard 100 versions of how he was killed, 100 versions of what he said, how he got stabbed, where he got stabbed. That's not fair to do that to me. You know, I should have just been dealing with losing my son. But I've taken it on board. I've thought, right, I've been strong. I've thought, I'm not going to listen to anyone. I will base my opinion on facts and the truth. Then I'll make my mind up. So he got ready to go out. He was with Cosmic and Pedon, which were his two friends, drinking, which Josh did well.
Yeah.
So there was the Ciroc and the various other things. And then what he used to do, which obviously I loved him, adored him. So he used to say, "Bye, Mum," Fran, out the door. Then he'd used to come back once his friends had gone, hug, "Love you, Mum, I love you, Josh, I love you more, I love you more, Josh." Give me a big kiss, big hug, and then off he'd go. So my little boy was saying goodbye to me, you know, and he always did that. So I was very lucky to have that. So for me, his last words were, "I love you, Mum."
That's, yeah, I mean, I guess you couldn't really ask for much more, could you?
No, I was lucky.
So at Jake FOC asks, at what point did you realise your son had a talent for music?
Probably when he was about, I was going to say 9 or 10, but what I heard wasn't talent. What I heard was he was attempting to do something. Bearing in mind, I knew nothing about grime. The first thing I knew about grime was when I saw him send for socks, and I was horrified. I was like, "Oh, you can't talk to people like this.
Yeah, what did you
He's going to come and beat you up. You can't say this a lot." It was like mums and dads too. I was like, "Oh, that's one area you don't." I was literally, and he was looking at me as if like, and excuse the language, it was like, "You're a dickhead, Mum," because he was like, "You have no idea about this thing." So he was probably about 11 or 12. Whatever this was he was doing, he was really trying to do it. Practice. Because before this, he did skateboarding, and he was top level skateboarder, which I think he kept that quiet because it didn't really fit in with the image he was going for. But he used to practice, watch all the Tony Hawk's DVDs, practice, and then all of a sudden, this kind of music, whatever that was, he'd watch Boy Better Know. I'm trying to think of names, and I'm not going to guess them because I'll probably get them wrong, but you know, all those kind of people. Yeah. And then he'd just practice in his bedroom, and then we used to practice together. And like,
So what, did you used to spit bars as well?
I never used to spit bars, but I used to write out the lyrics, and we used to do Snoop Dogg, and he was 50 Cent, and we used to practice. Yeah. I wasn't spitting, I was just helping my little boy do whatever he liked doing, whatever that was. And then he started doing the video, and it was the sock send that I'm like, people are watching this and saying it's good. Oh, what's, you know, I didn't look into what grime was. I just thought he's happy. If he's happy, I'm happy. As long as people aren't trying to beat him up because of what he's saying, I'm okay with that. And that was it really. So yeah, 12, 13 age-ish.
I mean, did he ever get into, because of like stuff from the music, I know you mentioned the kind of, you're hoping people didn't want to beat him up for that. Did he ever get in any kind of physical music related stuff because of the stuff he was saying and the fact that he was so honest?
Yeah. A lot I didn't know about. Yeah. A lot I do know about. When I say a lot, there's, again, what I didn't realise is what a lot of people say is very much, and this isn't to try and shatter an image of everything, I'm just talking about what I see, it might be wrong, but what I see is that I compare it to like a boxing match where you've got the banter, the build up, the fight. Yeah. And so the clashes, it's like you're this, you're that, and you're like, oh my God. And I used to read some things, and I'd just look at him and he'd laugh, and I thought, okay, he's laughing, that's all right. And no one's kicking my door off. And he's in one piece. So you see it for what it is, it's a lot of banter. Yeah. And you know, there were a couple of moments when he was younger that he really wanted to go for people, and the older lot. JK, I will mention JK quite a lot. I'll say this now, his heart he's Josh, his heart is pure, and all he wanted for Josh was for Josh to behave and be better. If you meet someone and they're potentially your competition, what a unique, special person you are to bring them along with you, not try and block them. That's JK.
Yeah.
And it was him that kept Josh's head level. So, you know, JK knows that I love him to bits, but that's what JK did musically. He kept Josh calm, because I know Josh, and like when he did Who's the Boss and Lord of the Mics, oh my God. You know, 2 years before, it wouldn't have gone as it went. It would have been very, very, very different. There would have been times, if you look at his face, you know, as his mum, I know what each facial expression means, and I know 10 seconds later, if you're not in the calmness of people saying it's all right, he would have just gone and exploded.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a couple of punches, a couple of I'm going to do this and I mean it, because he did mean it. A couple of people he really meant it to, because he didn't like them. And I'm not going to mention names, but there's quite public videos of this.
Yeah.
But again, all these people who on Twitter, if you would say, who did Josh have beef with? This person, these are pure-hearted individuals. And I'm going to, a few people, K-Dot.
A great guy.
What a lovely guy. He was one of the first people to message me. He always messages me to see if I'm okay. He's a lovely, lovely guy. Maxter, who you'd look on Twitter and you'd be like,
yeah.
Maxter hates Josh, Josh hates Maxter. No, he didn't need to message me privately. These are all private messages out of love and respect for Josh. So, it, you know, it might have been building up to something different, and if the wrong thing was said, it could have gone, you know, head to head, as in fighting. But, you know, there wasn't any proper fights, because if there had been, everyone would know about it, and it would be all over everything, because when Josh lost his temper and fought, everyone knew about it. Yeah.
All right, let's get to another question. So Esky Girl 98 asks, if Deps was still here, how far would he have gone with his music?
I think it'd have been massive, because he just knew what he wanted. It was set in stone. That's what he was going to be, a superstar. He would have been on stage with everybody, with you know, Kanye West and everything. I think he would have been at Mobo's. I do believe. I'm not saying he would have won, but I do believe that would have been, you know, something that he would have attended. Him and JK would have taken over the whole scene, and that would have been it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like with Josh passing, you can tell like JK, it feels like he's missing something, and you know that he's.
As soon as he met Josh, that was it. It was meant to be. They were meant to meet each other, and they were the future, and they would have taken over, and they would have released albums, and they would have been on any of the top, you know, performances that are out there now in grime. No doubt, because Josh had the talent. He was very lucky. He had the talent, the charisma, everything.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
You know, he was good looking, he was cheeky, he was naughty, funny, everything. You know, he could make you laugh, but he could also punch you quite hard. You know, he had the whole package, and he was very lucky. He was surrounded by a lot of genuinely nice people. Because when I met the Invasion lot and a lot of the grime lot, I just took a sigh of relief and thought, what a lovely lot of people these are, you know. And I don't care what people say about grime. I take, again, people as I find them, and all I've got in front of me is what a lovely group of people. You know, Hitman genuinely cared about Josh, wanted to make sure he was okay, he was behaving, and he was successful. You know, all these kind of people. So I do think he already had it planned. You know, he'd got it all written and set in stone, his plans for the next 2 years from when he was 18, and that was 4 more albums. He'd already written 20 tracks. He had it planned. He was doing 1 album with his friend Cosmic, then it was him and JK, then Invasion, then his own album again. He had it all. He just saw it as it was. He spoke about, you know, going to America. A lot of people do. And if he did. Whatever he wanted to do, I would have supported. But I do think he would have just been one of the top people.
I mean, you talk about like people and kind of like taking them for who they are and like being lovely people. I think it's looking on the outside in with, like, you know, when you watch crime videos and you look at people, it's easy to think that, you know, everybody's like this scary street guy and this, that, the other, and you know, you've obviously got a chance to kind of meet the people and see who they really are. Do you think it's something that people need to think about, kind of the image that they put out there, and you know, the things that they're putting out there to people?
Yes and no, though, because you have to be realistic about this thing. If you were led by other people so easily, you are going to be led by anything. So religion or computer games, videos. If you're lacking that one element in your life where you don't know yourself and you aren't able to make your own decisions and you depend on others to tell you what to do and how to be, then yeah, it is dangerous. But I'd look back at the reasons they are the way they are, and I think that's the problem, not the people they're watching. People need to be able to express themselves how they want to. You know, I think people are very aware of what they say. You know, people that knew Josh, I think they hold back more than they used to, and are wary of the fact that when knives are mentioned, you know, but they also need to do what they need to do and say what they need to say. And if that they're performing, they're performers, they're artists. If you draw a painting, if you're an artist and you draw a painting, if it's blood and whatever, have you not got a right to do that? Because that could potentially be seen as violence. You can paint what you want, you can say what you want, you can, you know, do what you want. Just be aware that people could be watching you, but you can't live your life like that. You just have to be real to yourself, and it will work or it won't work, you know. So I don't have a problem with what they say in grime. You know, there's a problem in society, and that is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I mean, the reason I ask is because, you know, when Josh passed, you get the newspapers bringing up stuff like, you know, the grime rap music and all this kind of stuff, and having that be one of the causes for why it might have happened.
Load of rubbish.
Okay, let's get to.
Just saying.
I was going to check whether there's any questions on the YouTube. There's people coming in, but there's not any questions, so I'm going to go back to the Twitter. But big up everybody in the YouTube. Thanks for locking in. Okay. Wavy_Swift_CV6 asks, what is your favourite song that Depzman made too real?
One Love and Mountain Dew. Even though you did say one, but I'll just go for two. Mountain Dew, because that was the first time that I saw him be able to express his emotions without the anger, he was just pure and he was able to express himself.
Yeah.
So for Mountain Dew, that is very important to me, because then I thought, okay, all the hard work, all the effort I'd put into him, he's managing to express himself in the way that I would want him to express himself. So for that was Mountain Dew. One Love, that just showed everything he'd ever, you know, he'd overcome all the problems he'd had, all the issues that were thrown at him, and yet he was standing there confident and strong and saying, right, this is what I want, this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be successful, and I love the people I love, and I don't really care what anyone says, this is me, and I'm going to go out into the world and do the best I can. So for that was the kind of like, you know, the cherry on the top of the cake. It's like all this, and it's like, right, okay, he's done it. We've got there. So
I remember we spoke previously a few weeks ago, and you mentioned that there was like a point where it felt like he'd got past all the other stuff that he'd been going through. I mean, 'cause I know you said that I think he went to prison before and stuff that you had to kind of do to kind of help him get out of that situation. But
yeah, I fought for him. I fought every day from a little boy, and you know, people that know me know this, people that knew Josh know this, people that know Depzman might not know this. Josh had ADHD, which when you know him, it makes sense. You know, he was hyperactive, stroke, really naughty. They wouldn't have him at school, wouldn't have him, you know, police loved arresting him. It was trouble. And I had to get him through that. And he had a lot of issues, a lot of pain, you know, with his dad's in prison, me bringing him up as a single parent, you know, loads of support from his grandparents, and then I kind of assumed the naughtier he was becoming, the more I had to do, you know.
Yeah.
You know, my parents were amazing with him, and then it was like, right, he's kicking everyone and punching everyone, I need to take this little boy and kind of like take him on head on and just be me and him, and that was it. And so that's when I kind of had to make a choice of, he became my entire life, because that's how much he needed me, you know. So
take a few seconds if you want to, it's okay.
So yeah, so all the appointments, all the school things, the police stations, the hospitals, because of the fights, because of, not music related, just generally day to day, let's fight the world, being naughty, being arrested, 9 times 1 year he was arrested. We just had great fun, curfew, probation, and I had to just keep going and show him, no matter what happens, my love, I'm calm, it's okay. Whatever happens, when he was little, Mum is fine, so you're fine, because I'll look after you, so it doesn't matter what happens, I've got your back, and Mummy will make it all right for you. So then that kind of developed, so prison, he hadn't done it, the worst thing, because he got such a reputation with the police, and they basically just didn't like him, because he was the one that lovingly told them about themselves all the time. They desperately wanted to have him for something, so they got him, and basically he was set up, and it was overturned in the High Court and everything, so it was all fine in the end. And he did go to prison. I know people love to laugh about the fact it was a young offenders, and it was only 6 weeks. Yeah. But that was the truth of it, And I got him out, and then when he came out, that was it. He made the decision that was his life, and he was gonna just take over and be successful. So him as a little boy, he just, he just like knew where he wanted to be, and that was it really.
I'm going through these questions sequentially, and this next question is something it's the one I mentioned to you earlier on, and I'm gonna I'm gonna ask it. At Harry Oakland _ asks, did Mitchell, who killed Depzman, did he admit to why he actually killed him, and was there a reason behind it?
No, Armani Mitchell chose to plead not guilty. I think he hoped that he'd get found, which anybody would have. Again, you've got to look at it from both. You don't have to look at it from both points of view, but I tend to. Yeah. Anybody that has done something like that, of course you're going to try anything you can to not go to prison for the rest of your life. That's a normal reaction to any situation, so that's the path he chose to go down. But obviously evidence, CCTV, the witnesses and everything were very much that he had deliberately done this. So that's why they found him guilty so quickly and convicted him so quickly. Obviously his choice to go not guilty led to a trial which again was, you can't explain unless you've lived to go through a trial. So he hasn't shown any remorse yet, and I say that because the humane side of me hopes that one day he will say something through the probation service, through the prison system, not to make this situation okay, but an apology is an indication to me that he's humane, and I think I will listen to that apology, and I won't accept that apology, but I appreciate an apology, and I appreciate him acknowledging what he's done to me, to my family, and to everybody. It won't change anything, it won't make it okay, but at this moment in time, he's not remorseful, and he wanted to try and get away with it, but he didn't.
I mean, does it bother you that he hasn't been remorseful?
No, not yet. It doesn't, because if he was remorseful, it doesn't change what's happened. If he was, I think if he'd have gone to court, said I'm guilty, sobbed, because what people don't understand, and people find it weird when I say things like this, but I don't really care. Yeah. Every single one of us is capable of murder, and it is very, very easy to kill somebody. And the majority of people in prison do not mean to kill people. They're not sitting in prison saying, great, look, this is fun, this is what I'm meant to achieve in my life, this is the life I want. Most people in prison could turn back the clock if they could. Even if it's been people they've hated, they've killed, they would turn back that clock and make a different choice in their life. I hope that's what Armani Mitchell says and comes forward. So it doesn't make any difference to me. It just gives me that little section of me that thinks, okay, Nobody intended to hurt my son. Nobody intended to take him away from me. He made a massive mistake, because all of us could do that. It'd be very easy for us to be Armani Mitchell and be a murderer, which then, you know, I'm not going to do my whole knife talk about knife crime and everything, but it's too easy to kill people, and you need to think what you're doing, because if you are not thinking that you're carrying a knife, you could become a murderer. You could be Armani Mitchell. So if you want to be that person, go ahead. But I live in hope that he did not mean to do that, but it won't make the situation any better, because he can't bring my Josh back.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, we've asked that one, and we've asked that one. Okay, kind of following on from that directly, we've got @original428 asks, how do you feel about Creeper and then about the Depp situation in regards to that?
Okay, I knew this question was going to be asked.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have already made their own conclusions as to probably what I'm going to say, but they're probably wrong. The way I put it is, when it came to the night Josh was killed, like I said previously, so many people came to me with rumours, so many people came to me with a load of bullshit, and I was very much, I will wait until we go to court, and I will base what my opinion is on facts, and I will base it on what I see in the court of law, because when you've got 100 people talking shit to you, you block them, because I don't want to hear all this rubbish. I need to know the truth, and I'm not going to get it from you people because you're talking shit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to court, I'm going to see the evidence, and I'm going to make my own mind up. So Creeper came to me and told me his version of what happened. I was confused. I don't know if I was confused because of the facts or because I just lost my son. But I was like, whatever happens, we'll go to court and we'll see it all, and we can all see the truth. So a lot of people at that point wanted to hurt Creeper. And what people forget is it was me that was preventing that and saying, I don't want anyone hurt.
Yeah.
Because another thing that a lot of people probably aren't aware of, one of the key witnesses that got Armani convicted of murder was Creeper.
Okay.
If Creeper had not gone to court, Armani would not have gone to prison.
So I guess maybe a lot of people don't know that, because I've seen a lot of tweets over the the last period of time.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just
course,
this. But basically, if Creeper hadn't done his statement, then Armani wouldn't have been charged. So Creeper was a key witness. So it was very important that people allowed him to tell his side of the story calmly and safely. Okay, so you're talking September the 21st up until March, so 5-6 months-ish before the court case. So everyone respected my wishes and didn't, do anything to Creeper, because nobody should hurt anybody, especially after losing someone through murder. So then what happened was, when it came to going to court, there was some confusion, and basically Creeper, I believe, was threatened, so didn't go to court when he was due to go to court. What that meant then is that potentially the whole trial and everything could have been thrown out. So for me as Joshua's mum, I was very, very stressed. What I wanted was to know what was going on and what happened, but I wasn't given that opportunity, because at no point did Creeper communicate that to me. So I had an issue with that. Then, as people have seen this, the CCTV showed Creeper walking with Armani Mitchell after Joshua. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on in people's heads, because I haven't been able to sit down with Creeper, speak to him calmly, and know what the answers to that are. In court, Creeper said that Armani showed him the knife. So that's not rumours, that's not people saying things, that's what he said out of his own mouth to, the prosecution and the defence, that he saw Armani had a knife before he followed Josh outside. That raises questions for me, many, many questions, because of how heated it was in court and people's emotions. What happened then is it all got in the way of being able to calmly say to Creeper, why this, why that, what's happened, what was going through your mind when you were walking with Armani, and that that is my biggest problem. I do not think for 1 second Creeper was involved, had any intention to hurt Josh, knew what Armani was going to do. I just think the situation could have been managed differently. And I think too much time has passed now for me and Creeper to sit down and have a full-blown conversation, because whatever he does say to me will make no sense really, because I've got my own views on the whole situation that are my views, you know, so I don't think me and him meeting now will address them to a level of, you know, put some kind of settle my heart and my mind. But for all the people that are like, you know, fuck Creeper, this and this, Creeper hasn't spoken to me and answered my questions. That is my problem with Creeper. And that's it really. After the trial, he was like, come meet me if you want to talk to me. But I'd just lost my son. I'm not going to travel to somewhere I don't know for 2 reasons. One, I don't know who's going to follow me and try and attack Creeper, and I don't know what his intentions are towards me. You know, it was very emotional. So that wasn't an opportunity that I was going to take up, you know. So when he says, well, I'd have spoke to her, it wasn't the right time to.
Yeah.
And I think too much time has passed now, you know, and it's not going to bring Josh back. You know, whatever I say, I get criticised. Whatever I do, I get criticised. That's fine. But people need to understand that my priority in this whole situation is I've lost my son. I've lost my son, and nobody is going to bring him back. Nothing is going to bring him back. The only person that killed Joshua was Armani Mitchell. Okay? There was factors in the night that you could look back and think, well, if this happened. Load of crap. Armani took a knife and killed Josh. End of. And he's the person responsible. He's the person in prison, you know, and that's it.
No, I guess that, you know, answers that one. I mean, like I said, I've seen a lot of people over the period of time, you know, speak about the whole Creeper thing. So for anybody that's watching, I guess you've got your answers there. A lot of people are asking what your favourite song is, but you've mentioned that one already. So I'm just gonna move past that one.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is the opinionated side of me. Okay. And I will not be criticised by anybody watching this and my own opinion out of my heart and my mind on watching CCTV of my son dying. So anyone's like, what right she got to say this, what right she got to say, I've got every right to say what I want to say, because I am Joshua's mum. No one else is Joshua's mum, I am. And if I have been through the pain that I have, and any single person out there has made it worse for me, don't be DMing me later saying you had no right to mention this person. You had no right. I did not choose to be in this situation. My son was murdered, and I've done the best I can from the day he died to now. And even if I say so myself, I've done very well. So if people want to criticise me, please do, but you're wrong.
I mean, it's hard to believe that you've had a lot of people criticising you in the situation that you find yourself in, and has that been something that you've been going through alongside the...
Yeah, oh God, yeah, all the time. I mean, the people who know me watch this, the fans, I've had people come up to me. I won't bore you with every single rumour that's been out there. I'm a crack addict, that was one. I've got an 18-year-old boyfriend. I'm trying for another baby to replace Josh. Now imagine this being said, that's 3 of probably, I don't know, 200 things that have been said to me.
Yeah.
Now, part of me just wants to pull this fist back and smash him in the face, but I can't do that, even though I'd like to do that sometimes. And you just have to go, next. Yeah. Next. And you have to just let it bat off you. So whether that's because I'm strong, stupid or whatever, it's unfair that the only thing I should have been dealing with was losing my son. What I've dealt with is a load of crap. So it's very unfair. And again, there's people watching this, and they'll be watching it to think, oh, what's she going to say? You know, I'm not into gossip. I'm into facts and the truth. And there's people watching it because they know they've said things about me. They know they're the ones that have spoken about me. And all I will say to all these people that are watching, if my name has come out of your mouth in any negative way since I have lost my son, then I hope that if you meet Josh one day in heaven or wherever it may be, that you can look him in the eyes and say, I did the best I could towards your mum, and I have done everything I can to support your mum, Josh, because I knew, Josh, you adored her and she adored you. If they, in their heart, can sit there and think, you know, I've done everything I can to support her because of how much Josh loved her, great. If you can't, and if you have slagged me off, spoken my name and not bothered, then again, can I just say it how I want to say it? You can go and fuck yourself, because answer to Josh if you ever meet him again, because a lot of you have let him down.
It's one of those things. It's like knowing what you're going through, and then also knowing that you've had to do all that at the side. It's like, it's, you know, it's very.
Well, you know, people have said, oh, if my mum lost me, she wouldn't be like doing interviews and doing this. I don't want to do interviews. I don't want to be on television. I don't want to be known by anybody. I want to be Joshua's mum, as I was 18 months ago, but nobody knew me except 5 people. Yeah. You know, this isn't something I don't want to be me. I want to be Joshua's mum, as I was. So again, criticise me for that. I don't care. You can't hurt me any more than you've hurt me. But you've just got to think, if it was your mum was left in the situation I've been left in, losing the person she adored with every single bit of her, you know, body and heart and soul, then I would hope for your mum that you would at least be respectful to that person, be supportive and be loving, not slag her off. You know, if she's needy, if she's sad, if she's doing the best she can, support that. You know, be positive, be nice. If you can't do that, fine, but you're not worth bothering with. And it's taken me not a long time, but a good 6-7 months to realise that I have been used by a lot of people. A lot of people have used me to make them feel better. I've served my purpose. They've come to me, cried to my arms, hugged. I've counselled people, sat them down and made them feel better. I haven't seen some of these people since the trial. But if my purpose has been served, so be it. You know, but then again, you know, don't criticise me. You know, just, it is the way it is. Go away and keep my name out of your mouth. It's as simple as that. I shouldn't happen to be here, hearing people are slagging me off, you know. Yeah. That's the last thing I should be hearing. All I should be hearing out of people's mouth is, how are you, Alison? Apart from that, why speak to me?
It's true. I mean, if you can't say anything good, you may as well just not say anything at all.
Stay away.
We've got a question from @140magazine_ asks, how much unreleased music is there, and will we get to hear it?
Okay, there is approximately 10 tracks. There's been a delay, because again, what people have got to understand is the people that have done the music with Josh love Josh. So what you're dealing with is a connection to Joshua, not a Depzman track and isn't this great. They find it really difficult to listen to it, to potentially change it, to work on it. So there's been a big delay because people haven't been able to face doing that. So I'm hoping it will be August. That depends on people coming together and helping me.
Is that around his birthday?
Yeah, August the 10th of his birthday. So there is unreleased music out there. It's just a case of when it's right for people, because it's very hard for them. You know, people have had his music on their computers and haven't wanted to let it go because they're giving a piece of Josh away. People have to see it like that. It's not like, well, why aren't they giving you Dep's music? To them, then it's not Dep's. To them, it's Joshua. And so they're giving me the last bit of something they have of him. You know, so I hope August. If it isn't August, it will be as soon as we can all come together, work on it, and release it.
Do you know what that's going to be called? Is there a title for that, or?
Yeah, 10/8/95, which is his birthday.
Okay.
So that was my great idea.
So everybody can listen to look out for that. At Mr. Awesome, Mr. ORSOM asks, what is Ali's best and happiest memory of Josh?
It sounds, again, you know, if you know me, you know this is true. I kind of worshipped him. When I think of Josh, I don't think of a memory. There is one thing that sticks out in my mind, but just him, from the minute he was born until he died, he could have just sat there breathing and I'd be like, he amazed me. I adored him. There was nothing he could do that would make me angry. There was nothing he could say that would make me angry. I'd be there thinking, oh my God, but not anger. And, you know, I've said this before to people, that it was if I knew he was going to die. It was
you said that to me before, yeah.
It was if I knew we weren't always going to have each other, which people might think, what does she mean by that, weirdo? We did everything, and I did it as quickly as I could. His life was amazing, and it was literally every day I'd be like, what can we do, what can we do? I was trying to fit everything in, not because I thought, oh, I need to do this by this date because he's going to die. I just had this feeling in my soul, you know. At 14 years old, he was out clubbing every night and, you know, big bottles of Ciroc. Now, you look at that, and my daughter will be watching this. If my daughter asked me to go to a club at 14, she knows I'm picking her up at 12 o'clock and she's not drinking, otherwise there's trouble. Yeah. You know, very different. Josh would be like, Mum, can I have £1,000? I'd be like, what for, my darling? Not a normal reaction. What for, my love? Oh, I'm going here and doing this and travelling here and need to buy this. And I'd be like, of course, I need to jump from cars. Oh, okay, love, how much? £180. You know, so I adored him. Yeah. Every single thing he ever did, every word he spoke, every breath he took, I adored. So, memory-wise, every single moment with him. 2 weeks before he died, I was supposed to be going to Ibiza, and without him, first time, so I was like, woohoo! And then I remember sitting at work, and I just got this feeling, Josh has to come with me. And it wasn't, I didn't care what my husband said, ex-husband, whatever you want to call him. I didn't care, it was, Josh is coming, tough. And I phoned Josh, like, Josh, do you want to come to Ibiza? He was like, why am I going to want to come with you? I was like, please. He's like, no, I ain't coming. And then all you see on Twitter, flying out, Ibiza. And I was like, he's coming to Ibiza, shit, I bet I bought the ticket. So I bought the ticket, and that holiday was the first and only holiday in his entire life. He didn't need entertaining, he didn't need taking out, buying this, doing that. He just sat with me for the entire time, holding my hand, telling me, I love you, Mum. I'm like, I love you. He goes, no, I really love you. I'm like, I really love you. You're going to die one, you know, totally normal thing that children go through, but younger, you're going to die, Mum. And I'd be like, in my head I'm thinking, shit, what do I say? I'm like, yeah, but not for years and years and years, Josh, don't be worrying that. He goes, but I can't be without you. If you die, his words, I'm going to fuck someone up and go to prison and they could look after me, is what he said. And he had tears streaming down his face. So you think of everyone think of Depzman, but he was a beautiful soul of a little boy. You know, he held my hand and he just said how much he loved me and how much, he goes, you know, everything you do, Mum, there's not many people like you, and you really love me, don't you? And I was like, of course I love you. I said, who could not love you, you know? And that was it, he just held my hand. And if you look at the pictures on Twitter of the last holiday, he was at peace, and part of me thinks he was saying goodbye to me. You know, and those 2 weeks leading up to his death, he went to my parents and lay on the bed with them, you know, with his grandma and with his granddad, because he loved them so much, and lay with them. And my mum phoned me and said, is Josh all right? I said, yeah, why? She goes, he's just sat with us for like an hour and a half and just at peace with us. He sat with my husband, never did that. Let's watch a film. My husband's like, okay, what the fuck's wrong with Josh? You know, sat with my husband. It's like he was saying goodbye. So, every moment with Josh I really loved.
I mean, what, you say you had the feeling that you weren't going to spend, you know, very long with him. What was it?
I don't know, just a feeling. I don't know, I just, bless them. Half of Invasion, and whoever went out with him, you know, I'd stalk his Twitter. Where is he? What's he doing? Has anything happened? And then if I saw like everyone laughing, going, no, Deps has kicked off, I'm like, and I'd literally like, hi Jay, how's everything? And JK knew I was saying, is Josh all right? He'd be like, he's fine. Yeah. We've got him away from the situation. He's in one piece. I'd be like, whew. And then until he was home. So every day I was like on high alert. every day was like, something's going to happen to him. I used to say to my husband, you know, he'd been bottled, he'd been fighting, all random things. But I always said, this isn't the end of it. Something really bad is going to happen. And he'd be like, no, it won't. I said, it's going to something really bad is going to happen, you know. So every time withheld on my phone, usually the police, but I'd be like, not normal. I wasn't reacting normally to everything. I just, not obviously at the time, I didn't think, I know what this means. I just had this feeling, and I wouldn't say no to him. I was there to give him the best life I possibly could in the time I had with him. And that isn't buying him things. He was very spoiled. He had everything he wanted. But I loved him, and I loved him. So when he's screaming and shouting and swearing, he never saw me get angry with him. I just wait for him to come, and I put his arms around him and say, I love you. And then he'd like sigh, breathe out and be like, I love you, Mum. So I look back and all these little things, I just think, yeah, he was going to die. He was going to die, and I was always going to have him.
Yeah, there's people that have said to me that it feels like his passing affected a lot of people, and it was like, it's weird because I get people following me on Twitter, and it happens so much. Is RIP Depz, and it really felt like at the time that he passed away that it's like his energy kind of just dispersed into so many people. And I know that you said you've had people from all over the world kind of. He
had a beautiful soul, and I do find it difficult. You know, when some people, the purpose of their life is to be put here to give a message or to show people something, you know, I'd love to confidently say that was Joshua's purpose, but then I'm not saying it's okay he's not here. Anything that has helped someone and anything that has given somebody a different thought process that makes their life better, I'm grateful for. And if my son has achieved that, then I'm very proud of that. You know, I just find it very hard to say everything happens for a reason, because he's my son, he's my little boy. He's not a public figure to me, he's my little boy. He has inspired a lot of people and helped a lot of people, and continues to with how he has been, and he beamed this energy and this confidence and the love for his friends and family. If he loved you, he loved you. If he didn't like you, he would tell you to your face at the point of meeting you. Now, again, that's a unique individual.
Yeah.
But when you're standing next to someone and he's going, I'm not going to say what he used to say, but it began with suck you, and then say something to like family members, and they'd be like, oh, Depz, you can't say that. He'd be like, I can, because that was just him. But everyone loved that about him in, you know, a funny way. So I can't say the words yet. His death, he was meant to be this person that inspired people, because I find that hard too, but I'm very glad and I'm very proud that is what he has done.
I mean, you mentioned to me before about, you know, the people that have come to you and they've said that, you know, they went to college because of Depz, and they've you know, they've done this and they've finished this because of Depz, and there's been Depz tattoos and there's this, that, the other.
Lots.
And, you know, when you kind of just touched on it, but when you get somebody coming to you and saying, I've gone to college because of basically, you know, the words that your son kind of put into record, I guess it's got to feel
so proud of him. Proud. I was proud of him as Joshua Ribera in his bedroom in a little flat, doing nothing except for wanting everything I could possibly do for him. I was full of pride for that little boy that grew into a young man. Now, for that young man to be somebody that has inspired other people to do things through his kindness and his love, that is unbelievable for me. And I look at the messages and read things and think, oh my God, is that real? And when I realise it is real, I just feel, you know, I'm very, very lucky, because to have hundreds of messages of support of people, it only can give me strength and make me feel proud. Not everyone has that, so I have to look at it and think, aren't I lucky to have this? But obviously I'd rather have none of it and have Josh back in his bedroom. So I just have to embrace what I am dealing with the best I can. So.
Okay. Okay, we've got. Somebody said, I think we touched on this, but I think it's a different kind of question, so I'll ask it again. What plans, music-wise, are there for coming from Depzman's work that he had left? I think we've kind of covered that.
Yeah, there will be new stuff. When, it very much depends on the help I get, because I haven't got a clue. You know, I'm not music, I'm just his mum.
Yeah.
And you could put something in front of me and someone will say, oh, that beat's sick, and I have no idea what anyone is talking about, and I'm not going to pretend I do, so I very much rely on the people that do know.
Yeah.
So when everyone comes together, there will be the stuff that hasn't been heard and potential stuff that you have heard, but maybe different artists being on that track, remixes, etc, etc. So it will come out. I'm just, you know, it's a hard thing to deal with, and I'm doing it at the best kind of pace that I can.
We've got Joe Beaver 75 says you're an inspiration. Watching the interview, love to you all, Joe, Anna, and the rest of your Scottish family.
Yeah, my cousins. Hi.
So I said that. It read like somebody you knew, so I definitely wanted to kind of get that out for you. Okay, more questions about unreleased. Okay. So you mentioned earlier on about 2 songs that you really liked, which were Mountain Dew and One Love. But at Woody, It's Woody Online asks if there are 3 songs that you wanted to recommend to anybody about Depzman. Which would they be? Reality. Is that the one
that he did? Yeah, yeah. Because he was expressing his pain, and it's okay to express your pain. It's okay to let it out. It doesn't mean you're a weak person. Doesn't mean that you're less of a man, a girl, a woman. It just means that you're able to release a part of your emotion that you find difficult, and he did that so well. And those lyrics, so many people find it hard to listen to that, because it's as if he was writing it about himself for his friends to listen to, which he didn't. He wrote it for Kyle, but obviously people listen to that now and it's very painful. But yeah, that has helped a lot. I know that one has helped a lot of people. A lot of people that have lost family members message me and say, he really helped me. He helped me go to the funeral, go to the headstone. I was listening to his lyrics as I was being able to do it. It gave me strength. So again, that blows my mind. I think just proud of you, Josh.
Kane Stamp asks, what are the funniest memories of Deps and JK that you can remember?
JK, I mean,
Deps and JK.
What people don't realise is I was boring, elderly, old mother at home that he was just quite happy to go, hello, walk straight past, then get text going, Mum, can I have some money? You know, so I wasn't frontline anybody.
Yeah.
I was mummy in my house, stay back in your bedroom and you don't need to speak to my friends. You know, so I never got to experience them all together. I, very much like everyone, saw it through Instagram, Facebook, and I'd just watch certain things. I'd be like, oh God. You know, so all I knew, he was happy. As long as he was happy, that's all I needed to know. And Josh had so many different elements of friends. He had the friends from a little boy as he grew up, you know, the friends that he knew from the area, the music friends. And he was just happy in the different sections. So there's no memories that I can come out with. I just got my own with him, you know. All I know is that as long as he was happy, whatever that was doing that I used to see, I'd be like, as long as he's happy, in one piece and happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We've got a question from @Selenki Burns, who asks, we touched on this before, but there's a different take on it. He said, also, did you always believe in Depz's talent, or did you want him to take a normal route? I
wanted him to be happy, and it's very cliche and it's a very typical parent thing. If Josh had decided to, Josh could have been anything, as long as he wasn't harming people, as long as he was respectful, as long as he had manners, he could have done nothing. He could have decomposed in his bedroom for all I cared. As long as his heart was happy and he meant well in his actions, that was all I wanted for him. He needed to know, through all the pain he experienced, that he was, it sounds so cheesy, he was loved, and he was safe, and that is all I wanted from him. I wanted to be able to get up in the morning and be able to smile and be happy. And then he was successful, and he had achieved everything I ever wanted for him, and he did, really did.
We've got followed by Tom asks, what's the support been like from Josh's friends?
Very mixed. In the beginning, hundreds came to me, and this is a difficult one here, because I don't mean to offend anybody, but you know, people have got to remember I wasn't ringing people up, I wasn't going to people's houses saying help me, support me. So I was surrounded 24/7 by people. What then happened is the court case happened, his birthday, and then everyone just disappeared. Now my biggest problem isn't that they all disappeared, it's the confusion in my own mind. Have I upset them? Have I said something to offend them? What is it? Why? And then I've had to kind of investigate it myself through Google, grief, what really happens. And it's normal. People congregate in grief, support each other, and then just go and disappear. The biggest shock for me is because I literally had hundreds hugging me, making me feel better. I was thinking, I can do this, I've got all these people, I can do this. So for them all to just disappear, I was just like, shit, I'm not going to be able to do it now, I'm on my own. Like, there was times when there's like days and days where nobody comes, and it's like they've got their own life, they need to live their life, and I'm happy that they're living their life, and I'm proud of them to be able to live. But I've been so confused, that's all, because I just haven't understood it. But from what I've, like I said, looked at, it's normal. You know, like Christmas Day, for example, obviously the Christmas just gone, the one before when it first happened, 24/7, people sleeping everywhere, food, so I got alcohol in, I got drinks, you know, we just survived Christmas Day. It wasn't enjoyable, we survived, we all sat in his room, there was people everywhere, there must have been about 100 people, in and out, and I live in a little flat. So this Christmas, I ordered all the shopping, all the food, and no one came. And I remember sitting there thinking, where's everybody? Where have they all gone? I was like, oh, okay. And then in the afternoon, Shaq, Romy, Kieran and Keems came. Hayden, Jordan came. If there's anyone else, I do apologise, I can't remember, but there's probably say 1, 2 others. Yeah. And I was literally, I felt stupid, because I'm like, shit, where is everyone? They haven't come. And it's like New Year's Eve last year, the whole flat was a party, playing Josh's music, everyone grieving, crying, coming together, me just surviving like this robot. So this New Year's Eve, got all the alcohol, the nibbles, sat there, no one came, not one person. And I just sat there and I'm like, shit. And like you see on Facebook, Twitter, people at parties and that, you think, oh, okay. And it's not that you look at them thinking, why aren't you here? You know, there's part of me that thinks, please come and make me feel better, but you also have to live your life. So it's been a massive learning curve for me, you know, massive learning curve, that the people that do still come, which is probably less than 7 people, you know, here, there and everywhere, I believe that's normal from what I've looked into. You know, you've got an element where people find it very hard to speak to me because it hurts. I
can imagine, yeah, because they're going through their own emotions with it and
it just confuses me, though. I'd wish they'd just communicate with me a bit better and say, please don't think I don't care, I find it really difficult. And I'd be like, don't worry, you know. And then other people that I just really desperately would want to see, because I genuinely like them and I just want to see them and check they're all right, but they have their own, you know, their own things. It just confuses me, and I think, have I upset them? Have I said something offensive? Have I done something? Is it all the bullshit that they're all dealing with every day, you know, all the crap they're hearing, all the this person, that person? It could be that. I just don't know. I just wish them all the best. You know, I'm just confused, very confused. So, you know.
Everybody, I'm trying to plough through all of your questions. I've still got like 90 tweets to go through, and I just got 4 more. So if I don't get to your question by the time we end the show, my apologies.
What time is it? Sorry.
It's just after 8, so I'm trying to get through all of them. But there's been a lot of questions. Girl98 asks, how do you feel in yourself? And what we've already talked about that bit. And then, are we looking at another Depzman event, because they have been outstanding? So are you doing another Deps event?
I'm trying. I'm really trying to organise it. I've come across some negativity due to the fact it's grime and young people.
Okay, yeah.
But that's okay, because I'll just battle on and do it. And that's it. It gives the people an opportunity to all come together, but to just have a nice day and, enjoy themselves. So there will be one. When, I'm still working on it. As soon as they see the word grime, that's it, cancelled.
Yeah.
So I don't give up easily, so there will be. When and how and where, I don't know.
You've recently started, I know you started a company.
Yeah.
And what's it called, and what is it for? What is it you're going to be doing with it?
But sorry, the microphone. Basically, there's different kinds of companies. It's not a profit-making company. Before anyone starts saying, "Oh, she's trying to make money," and slagging me off over that as well. Basically, it's a community company, which means that you have to do things for the community. It's a company that's for the community, so for the events. And I just thought it'd be so much easier having a registered company, so that if anyone does support an event, they'll say, "Well, are you registered?" I'm like, "Ta-da, yes, I am." It's called Depzman One Love. Very much because One Love means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It shows One Love can be classed as like a unity of people. And obviously Depzman, because that's more of a public name, so that's what I did. It was registered last week. They accepted the name and sent me out the certificate. So I can't say I'm proud of it, because again, I don't want a company in my son's name. I want Josh here.
Yeah.
None of this is enjoyable. I do it because it helps me do what I want to try and achieve. So yeah, there is a company, and it will be that hopefully in the next few months I'll do an event just for the company to help me. It enables me to then do the next event without struggling like I have done. So
are you planning to do kind of? I know you've done some stuff with like knife crime and stuff like that before, and are you planning on doing more stuff like that for the company, for the community?
At the moment, I go into senior schools and talk about Josh the little boy, up until the night it happened, how it's affected me, show his One Love video, and just explain to people that it's your choice if you want to be in prison as a murderer. It's your choice if you want to carry a knife. That is your life. It's not my life. That is up to you. So it's just trying to make them aware that carrying a knife for something that is so petty, really realise that what you're potentially doing is putting yourself in a position where you could become a murderer. So just think that's the message that I try and put out, and I go to schools and do that. So that's very much just starting to take off, because a lot of people knew of him. So they really listen and are very respectful.
Yeah.
And Josh has given me that. I haven't done any legwork or groundwork to make me in a position to be listened to by the young people in the schools, but Josh has done that. So he has given me the platform to go in and hopefully make a change to some people.
Yeah. And have you has there been anybody that's come to you and after you've done one of those talks and kind of said, this really made me rethink what I've been doing?
They don't say that. They don't say that. What they'll do is they'll message me and say, "Sick talk." And that level of respect gives me hope that they've listened.
They listened.
And that's all I can do, So hopefully it'll just make them realise, because I don't tell them, don't carry a knife. If you want to carry a knife, carry a knife. Be prepared to use that knife. Be prepared to say goodbye to all your family and go to prison. If the reason you're carrying it is so extreme and genuine, carry it. But be prepared to ruin your entire life and someone else's. Yeah. And that's all I say.
I guess that's definitely the reality of the situation. Durrell Lins asks, do you think Josh would like being famous and big?
Yes.
I think he enjoyed.
He loved it. And I take responsibility. I used to look at him and go, "You are beautiful," and there was never ever, "Am I?" He'd be like, "I know." He'd puff up, and he wasn't particularly built, but he'd puff up. He'd be like, "I know." He was just filled with self-confidence. Yeah. Because when you've got people telling you you are beautiful and lovely and amazing, they believe that, from a very little person to the big person. So he loved people knowing who he was, loved the attention from the girls, loved the respect from the male fans. He just loved being him. Just did.
Yeah, I saw somebody earlier on, I think it might have even been last night, I think it was somebody had tweeted, I think Mystery popped up, but they were saying if Deps was still alive, he might be in the position that Storm is in at the moment, which is kind of like a new, fresh artist. But then somebody was talking about how like he had the girl fan base and how girls really loved him and stuff like that. And you kind of, you can kind of tell that he got a lot of
all you got to
attention.
do is look at his pictures. That's all you need to do. I've never known anyone so photographed that is not some superstar. I only recently, probably about a month ago, turned on my iPod that he anything I ever had, he kind of adopted, and I never saw again. So anything Apple or anything became his. And then so I ended up buying him his own. And then I turned mine on, 700 photographs of himself, just on one piece of equipment.
But with people or just of him?
Of him.
We're just thinking so.
Of him. Ask any of his friends. If there was a camera, what would Josh say? Like, take a picture. And they'd have to sit there. You know don't know if anyone, like the test in the lab picture, that's the one with the smoke.
Yeah.
I don't know how many takes, but it's like, take it again, because he wanted the smoke effect going up. And he was surrounded by a mate. Who else would have the patience and the tolerance to take 20 pictures just because somebody wants the right shot? Yeah. That is what he had. These people adored him, and if whatever Josh said, it was just the way it was. You know, he was very, very lucky.
Yeah, he did seem to have some great people around him. Yeah,
he had a great life. He really did.
At Original 428 asks, where is Josh's memorial?
His headstone is at Robin Hood Crematorium. It's in the Tranquility Garden, and that's very much a public place if people want to go and show their respects to Josh. You know, it is a public place. It's not a family place. It's not where Josh is. That is just somewhere where everyone can come together if they want to. Yeah,
okay. Let me get this. Erase Fames asks, would you release a Depzman free verse track for fans to be on the same track as him? So I guess he means, would you release something with a space with Deps on there that fans could do their own verse on?
I haven't even thought of that. That's not something I haven't considered really. I think there's so little material, if I'm honest, which is hard to kind of accept. That's it. So, you know, I'm kind of focusing on making what is there the best it can be. And obviously if people want to take that then and do what they're doing with it, and I don't mean publicly but like privately, that would be up to them, because I'm sure a lot of people do anyway. But you know, people just need to try and respect the fact that, you know, when his music is out there, to respect the fact it's on iTunes, to respect the fact it's not there to be copyrighted and everything just be taken. So at this moment in time it will be, you know, done to the best quality and released.
Okay. At jplester_WKPB asks, who was Deps' favourite artist to work with? Do you know?
To work with?
Yeah, who was his favourite artist to work with?
JK? Because he loved, I mean, that's, again, I don't know. He admired and really respected Skepta. Yeah. He just wanted, in his mind, he was going to be bigger than Skepta, and, you know, there was levels, and, you know, there's pictures of him, people have seen this little boy, and he's like, MySpace, BBK, and then there's a picture of him performing on stage with BBK, and he put the two together. Yeah. So he worked hard. Yeah. And, you know, that is what he did. So I just know what I see now. He didn't sit there and say, who do you admire, Josh? He just listened to, you know, Skepta and everybody, and just wanted to be that big artist. You know, Drake. He was always saying Drake was, what's Drake? Look at Drake. Oh, look at me, mum. Kind of thing. So as far as he was concerned, in his brain, he was better looking, and he was going to be bigger than Drake as well. That wasn't even a problem. That was going to happen. But you know, so.
No, he was definitely on his way forward. Like, definitely.
Yeah.
At the one Brummy asks, how did you feel about Josh reaching 1 million views on Reality and Celebrate, which means it's been reached by a lot of people. So how did you feel about that?
Sad. Because I see it from a different angle. I'm proud. But he'd have wanted to see 1 million views. That's what he would have wanted to see. He wanted to see a lot of things, and that is one, you know, he would have wanted to know that many people were watching him, because a lot of people have come out of the woodwork saying we were watching him and he was going to be big.
A lot of people. There was a lot of people that came out.
And you can't live your life kind of thinking, I'm going to say this because you never know. But it'd be nice for people to maybe be a bit more open with what they really think. If someone's good, what's the harm in telling them? Because what if they do die tomorrow?
It's true.
You know, and I say that to do with a lot of things, you know. For example, what we talked about earlier about his last words to me. There's a lot of people that are so angry towards people, and it's like, if you're calling your child a little this and that child runs out your house and gets knocked by a bus, are you really going to be happy living with that fact that the last words you said to your child were, you're a little shit? You know, people need to try and be a bit more expressive with their emotions if they're positive, and let people know, you know. So I think, you know, he had no idea what people thought about him. You know, he had his own idea, which luckily that was tended to be enough to keep him going, but other people, he didn't really know.
It's crazy because, you know, when I came to yours to kind of talk to you and seeing like his room, and then just thinking like, you know, from this room he's had such an effect on, you know, hundreds, thousands of people and millions of views since then. And
I think, and I do think it's important for people to realise that mine and Joshua's relationship and his life was very unique, because, again, for whatever reason, he was able to just be an artist. He was able to be music. He didn't have to worry about working, college. He could, you know, people saw him working hard. He was working, doing music videos. He was working, writing and performing. That was his job, you know, and most people have to deal with real life, but I kind of took that part from him.
Is that, you know, I mean, is that because you supported him financially and for him to be able to do that?
Yeah, Josh didn't make any money from music until he died. Josh never. The only time Josh saw money from his hard work was the day he was stabbed, and he got his iTunes money. So,
and was that on the day?
That was and again, you look at that and you think, hang on a second. It's weird. What happened was iTunes, you know, they send a report and then it takes up to a week, however, for the money to go into your account, which people who do music through certain, you know, companies realise that. So I woke up on the 20th of September and checked it, and it was like, oh my God, the report's there. And again, I got this overwhelming feeling, he needs that money. He can't wait a week. So I increased my overdraft, woke him up going, Josh, blah, blah, blah. The money's in your account from iTunes. Shut up. Amazingly, when it suited him, straight out of bed, you know. And off he went.
Yeah.
Loving life. He had the best day ever.
I think I said to you before, but that in the morning or afternoon, I think I went on Instagram and I saw him like taking some money at the bank. I think he took out like £600 or something. So was that the iTunes money?
Yeah, he got more than that.
Yeah.
But like he loved. All he wanted to do was show the people he loved and who had supported him how grateful he was, and how he genuinely from his heart appreciated everything. And as people know, the first thing he did was buy me a watch. You know, he didn't buy trainers, he didn't go and buy weed, he didn't buy alcohol, he bought me a present. And that was Josh.
Yeah, it says a lot about him, doesn't it?
That says it all.
I mean, I only met him twice, and the first time I met him, I didn't even get a chance to speak to him. We were at like a Stay Fresh event, and he was just there. But the second time I met him, I was out in the city centre, and I was walking away to a club, and he was behind me. I didn't see him, and I walked across the road. And now sometimes, you know, some people might think, oh, you're a bit of a dickhead for saying this, but like, sometimes if I'm just kind of going about my business and I see someone, it's like they don't see me, I'm like, oh, I just kind of want to go this way. You don't say anything. But I walked across the road and there was Despa, and I looked back and it was, you know, it was Deps with the biggest smile on his face, just saying, oh, what are you doing? The son's going to the club. Oh yeah, cool. And he just seemed so so happy. And like I said, I mean, that was the first and only time, you know, I got a chance to speak to him. But the kind of, you could tell like the energy he had and you know, the love he had for people.
That's what he had. He has only ever been shown love in his entire life. And then that was really...
He had a lot to give as well.
It's like his whole entire heart and soul was filled up that much by the people that loved him. He had so much more to give. He wasn't clinging on to anything. It was like, if I love you, I love you. Here's this, here's that, you know, and that was just him. And, you know, I'm glad he had all that love. I'm really glad.
And I mean, there's a lot of people that say they'd say when they met him, he was just, you know, a great guy, and that, you know, definitely says a lot about him and yourself as well. So I think, let me just double check. So I think I've asked a lot of questions, and we've asked a lot of them. You have mentioned this, but at our Weed Leaf asks, do you think Deps was happy before he left? And of himself and his success, do you think he was?
I think he was genuinely, he could not have achieved more on a personal, not musically, not as Depzman, as Joshua Ribera. He had achieved everything and succeeded in everything he ever needed to succeed in. He could stand there and think, okay, am I loved? Yes. If there's a problem, have I got my mum and people? Yeah. You know, do I actually really need, have I got everything I need in life? Yeah, I'm loved by people. You know, I'm safe, I'm okay. I know what's what in my life now. This is a difficult situation, but I know what it is. And it's okay. It's okay now. He'd processed so many things. This situation, that's okay. This situation, yeah, that's been difficult, but it's okay now. And he ticked all the boxes of everything he'd ever found hard. He'd addressed it all. You know, with me by his side, it was me and him, we were like a team. You know, he struggled, come on Josh, come on Josh, come on Josh, we can do this, we can do this. Tick, next one, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, tick, next one. And then it was like literally 18th birthday, that's when it was achieved. I knew he would go to Amsterdam, no, not fight anyone, not do this, not jump in the canal and drown, not do this, not all the rest of the stuff that they could have done. And then I sat back and I was like, okay, we've done it. Me and you, Josh, we've done this now. And then 6 weeks later, he was dead. But yeah. So.
Well, I think we're gonna have there's lots of questions. I think, but a lot of them are just repeating themselves.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to ask me about? Anything reality-wise of it in the night, or
no, there isn't really. Okay. I mean, you said a lot about that. I mean, is there anything that you want to say that you know, there's stuff you want to say to people, or anything that people kind of?
There's a lot. I want to thank the people that have been with me when I've cried, the reality of my life. It is a lonely existence being me. I'm not Alison. I'm not me. I'm Depzman's mum. So being me is very hard. The few people that are there by my side when I'm sobbing and holding his ashes, and the reality, I just want to thank them. They know who they are. I'm not going to think the people that message me privately who don't have to, thank you for that. And the people that make money off his name, I hope you really think about what you're doing there, you know, and the effect that actually has on me in reality. Those that talk about me, if you've got nothing nice to say, just keep it in because you're disrespecting Josh. If you don't like me, that's fine. I'll carry on getting up tomorrow morning and that won't be a problem. You know, just think of Josh, you're offending Josh. If Josh can hear you, you know, and if you care about Josh, just shut up, you know. Those that find it hard to come to me, just let me know so that I'm not confused. I love my daughter. She's watching this, she knows I do. My family, they've lost me as well as Josh because I'm not the person I was, and that's hard for them, and I know they're watching this and it'd be hard for them because I can't talk about Josh. So to my mum and dad and everybody, you know, I know you're there for me and I know it's hard for you, and to the people that have loved me through the hardness, and you know, thank you. And that's it really. And everyone knows how much I love Josh, and those that support me, thank you. And that's it really, that's all I want to say.
And for a final question, being as I would have asked him if he was sat here with me now. It's a question I ask everybody else. Is where do you think he would have been in 3 to 5 years?
Probably in a mansion, in a jacuzzi, 7 girls in bikinis, sponsored by Ciroc, lots of illegal substances somewhere in a pouch, happy, living life and checking that his mum was okay.
Yeah. Well, Alison, thank you for coming in.
No problem.
I don't know what to say.
It's all right. No, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to everyone that's watched. Thank you.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody for their questions. I'm Despa. This has been Alison Cope, and you've been watching be83. And I guess I'll see you again soon. Thank you.